Welcome to Creators X, our collaboration with Vulture, putting the humans in tech. Super pumped for this next guest. We're going to be talking about crabbing. We're going to be talking about quadrant. And most importantly, we're going to be learning from Thierry. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Nice to meet you.
It is so nice to meet you. I saw you just crush your presentation over there.
Woo-hoo.
Bringing the heat, bringing the energy. Why are you so excited about AI and your job right now?
So let me tell you a story.
Let's.
My father works in public health. He spent his entire career basically devoted to making the world a better place.
Love that.
I introduced him to AI, let's say 3 months ago.
Okay.
I think is when he first started doing it. He sent me yesterday his entire workflow. He's got his entire team working on it. He's got,
oh my gosh,
like more complicated stuff than I've got going. And now he's using that technology to make the world a better place in West Africa, in Central Africa, in Asia, etc. So that's just like one example, I think, of a great, just in 3 months, you give someone these kind of tools and real value being created where it's like, now less mothers are dying when they give birth to children. Now hospitals have better equipment because of AI, right? So I think that kind of stuff, like empowering those kind of real changes, is what gets me excited to wake up every day.
I don't think there's a better reason to get excited to get up and to start your day. First of all, shout out to Dad.
Yeah,
Hi,
shout out Dad. Hey, Dad. Hey, Mom, too.
Whoa, such a baller. Clearly, your son's doing great. And I love that you're passing that inspiration and that spark on. Tell me just a little bit. I'm sure the audience is going to be really curious about your dad's work. Tell me a little bit more about specifically the type of work that they're doing in Africa to increase healthcare.
Okay, so he works with technology. So the idea is, can we increase the health of people in developing countries by using technology? One example might be, what happens when we give a hospital an iPad, right?
Right.
Now all of a sudden they can do research, we can load the iPad up with information. What happens when we start educating children about sexual education? What happens when we start educating people about diet? And there's like all these things that you and I might kind of take for granted that if you haven't been taught, you won't know. So my dad's whole mission is basically, how can we use technology to increase the health of people in developing countries?
Amazing. Well, I think that that's super important. And I love that sometimes the technology sector and the healthcare sector can be a little too distant for them to actually achieve results quicker. So I love that your dad and his team are out there doing that.
Yeah.
So cool. What are the conversations like about technology around the dinner table when you all get together?
So it's pretty fun because my brother also works in AI. He's a full stack developer. My mom's starting to get in the AI as well. So we're kind of passing the bug around.
Love that.
But we like to talk a lot about the philosophy of AI. So for example, what is the meaning of words?
Ooh.
Does that matter when we're using AI to generate the words? What does it mean when someone says something is good writing?
Yeah.
What does it mean when we say you shouldn't use the AI to do X, Y, Z? How do we develop like real communities that have AI as a part of them, right? For example, children now, I was just talking with a child who's maybe 10 years old. They don't use Google anymore.
No.
And it's like, for us, I think we're still using Google. So kind of seeing how the generation is changing, we're really interested in like how that's going to affect the culture.
I think that is fascinating. I want to come over for dinner sometime if that's what the
Yeah.
conversation is. We're all local here, which is awesome. I think that's really fascinating though, because it can be a bit ephemeral when we're talking about defining what a word is and what this means. But to connect it to what we're talking about, that actually has a lot to do with how that child or how your dad or mom or anyone is interacting with AI and the way that they're putting words together or using words to search in the traditional way that we used to on these new platforms. What sort of things are possible now? I was overhearing a bit of your presentation. So you were talking a lot about video and the ability to do things faster and search within video. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I'm really excited because of on-device AI.
Yes.
I think right now,
AI at the edge, baby. Let's go.
We've all been using these cloud devices. It's slow, it's weird, you don't know where your data is, etc.
Yes.
And I think now we're moving into this on-device era where people really want the AI wherever they're using it. They don't want to have to hit the cloud, etc.
Yeah.
So that is combined with this pretty cool industrial revolution, I would argue, where we have this new technology, vector search, which now empowers these workflows, right? So to give you an example, Quadrant worked with TripAdvisor. If you're familiar with TripAdvisor, they are a platform where you search for trips, basically, right? Find me a hotel in Berlin, find me dinner in Miami,
Berlin, you're speaking my language. Both locations.
Hey, that's
on
where
this, I'm on board.
Yeah,
Let's go, TripAdvisor.
Let's do it. So they released Trip Builder, which is an agentic version of TripAdvisor. Basically, where you just say, I'm going to Berlin, I'm going with my kids, my dog, here's my budget, here's my preferences, I want to see a museum, and I want to do fine dining. Do the trip for me. And it'll do it all for you.
And so fast.
Yes. They were using large language models. They switched to using Quadrant, were able to reduce the time of those queries from 40 seconds down to 6 seconds. And they saw that customers were much more satisfied with the results they were getting back. So things like, basically right now, you might be sending it to a large language model and telling it, hey, recommend the trip. You can use vector search for that. So same thing I was talking about with video anomaly. Right now, people are sending the videos to machine learning models. And the machine learning models are then saying, yes, this is arson, or yes, this is shoplifting, yes, whatever. Now you can use vector search. So being able to leverage that technology not only makes it faster, but also you can have more powerful workflows because you're paying the same amount, but now you can have more cameras, you can have more operators, you can have a more robust organization in general.
Yes, and you can have a better strategic team of humans who might be figuring out what to do with that information to make communities safer, to make environments safer, whatever that might be. I really love vector search because for those who aren't familiar, you think of a traditional XY axis, it's the Z axis that we now get, which is sort of how I think about what AI also gives us right now. We get this third dimension essentially that we haven't had before that unlocks this really creative potential. You mentioned crime detection. What are some other industries or use cases that really benefit from this type of search?
E-commerce is a really great example, right?
I see your C's. Somebody ain't afraid to shop. Love that.
So what's the most frustrating part about shopping? I would argue there's two of them. The first is it's too slow. You're like, why is this taking so long? Just give me what I want. Second, you search for something and either there's no result or the result you get back is not what you wanted. That's where vector search can be really powerful because the way that search systems worked in the past is you would type in navy t-shirt and then your product catalog would have to have a tag for color and for t-shirt. Now let's imagine I have a query like fun t-shirt for a day at the beach for my dad's birthday.
Love that.
Are you going to tag every single product in your catalog for yes or no, this fits for that?
No.
You can't
You'd go insane.
Exactly. Or even more specifically, imagine a query like flowery sundress, but the actual item is called linen gown. You probably want that showing up in the results, but with traditional search, it's not going to show up. Vector search, since it's more based on similarity, enables us to A, get you your answers faster, the same thing as the TripAdvisor thing I was mentioning, right? And B, more relevant results so your shoppers are happier and they're not getting those 0 results found searches, which we all hate and dread, right? So e-commerce is a great one.
And it feels so customized. I actually really like that you brought up e-commerce. I care probably too much about what I'm wearing on a daily basis and really care about matching brands. But one thing that I've noticed in some of the browser-based applications is a price comparison. And I haven't even necessarily decided that's what I want. I'm eyeing these Prada shoes I've been lusting over for a year, and I keep my little tracker up in the corner. Hey, it's 10% more than normal, or 20% lower than normal. And little buy decisions too, not only make it feel like you got a customized experience, but they make you feel like you're getting a good deal. And that's an incredible brand experience. So, go ahead.
So I was going to say, another great example for e-commerce with Edge specifically is, everyone has smart glasses now, right?
I'm wearing some right now.
Oh, beautiful. So imagine if you could go to Levi's, see a pair of shoes, pair of jeans, go back home later, and then be able to ask your glasses, hey, is there a cheaper version of those jeans online?
Let's
go.
Hey,
those jeans I found today, how much are they? Can you find me similar pair? A product scout basically built into your life. So those are also the kind of tools that are enabled by the on-device is vector search on your glasses. And
that's rad.
One more thing I'll mention.
Please.
Personalization, right? That's also vector. So that Z-axis, we can start to really know what Savannah likes. So now when you type in navy shorts, we're not just doing the normal navy shorts. We're doing Savannah's navy shorts because we know she likes them knee length and she likes them frilly and she likes them Nike brand or whatever it might be, right? We can get to that specificity.
I think that's going to be fun. It's also going to be really dangerous. I got to make sure that the vector shirts gets more efficient for my work and discoverability. My discoverability personally.
Yes.
You like crabbing.
I do.
I love this. We crab in my household as well.
Beautiful. Where?
Yeah, right off the Pacifica Pier.
Okay, I've
locally
been there.
Here.
Yeah.
Where do you crab?
I usually like the beach, so I like North Beach.
Oh, nice.
And I also like China Beach.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. And what's your favorite part about crabbing?
I would say it's just being able to kind of hang out and meditate. I think of it a lot like gardening or maybe like knitting. These activities where yoga is another good one, where you're just like doing something so you're not able to think about stuff.
Yeah,
you're just present. In the moment. Exactly. Yeah. And I think definitely I spend a lot of time behind the screen where it's a little hard to be present when you're doing this thing. So finding ways to be more present is really important for me because taking care of your mental and physical health, especially now with this AI stuff, I think is really important that people are taking care of that.
I love that you just brought that up. What do you think is the most important thing for people to consider, the average everyday user, not speaking about the enterprise? Well, I mean, the individual's there anyway.
Yeah.
But what do you think is the most important thing to keep in mind when it comes to AI and mental health?
I think there's a great book that's about economy, and I forget the title. But in the beginning of the book, the author basically says, I'm writing this book because if you don't share your ideas with other people, you're going to go crazy. Like, if the only person you're talking with is yourself, or in this case, the AI, then probably not the best idea. It's great to use the AI to bounce ideas off of, etc. But when you have those ideas, present them to the real world and see how people feel about them. And if you're getting a lot of pushback, ask yourself, is this a good idea? So I think just making sure that you're not isolating your ideas in your head or in your AI, but letting them clash with the real world and seeing what that result is. I'm not saying do things only other people agree with. I'm just saying don't only stay in your head in your AI and think you have a master plan that you haven't revealed to anyone yet, because I think that can lead to some health issues.
I think you're absolutely right with that. You know, you're talking about a pulse check, get a little feedback.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean you can't continue to pursue your dream, whatever that might be. You know, and it's what you just touched on. It's not just for mental health, though. I think that's the most important. I always think back to Steve Jobs. You know, we just had the 50th anniversary of Apple. I think back to Steve Jobs. He was actually a part of the investment team for the Segway. They had only you didn't know that because the Segway totally failed as a product. And the reason that it failed is because there were 6 humans in the Silicon Valley who decided it was going to completely change human transportation forever. So they didn't show it to anyone until they had invested millions of dollars into it. And I think they sold something like 600 Segways the first year.
I want to write a blog about that. Let's co-write it.
Yeah, let's do it. I would absolutely love to.
Because I think that's like a really good, especially now, I think AI makes it so easy to build.
Right.
Like, it's important to be building in public and not just, I'm stealth building.
Right.
Thinking that you have this great idea because ChatGPT told you it's worth $7 trillion, and then you put it out to the world and you don't know why you're not getting users.
No, exactly. And you know, the Silicon Valley saying, it took me a while to understand what this means, but ideas are cheap. Yeah. And you sitting there communicating with a machine or an agent about something is lovely. It's great for brainstorming. But the execution of that and the practical application of that are where the rubber really hits the road and the excitement happens.
And I love the Segway story so much because now scooters are everywhere.
Right.
They were onto something. They should have just talked to people.
They were onto it with first and last mile mobility. It mattered. It still does. They just really missed the mark on the form factor. And it's really ironic when you think about our pocket computers.
Over form?
Yeah. No,
form
exactly.
over function?
Oh my gosh, this has been so fun. I could talk to you forever.
Yes.
Okay, last question for you.
Hit me.
For the AI curious but slightly nervous right now, on the precipice of experimenting, but maybe they're non-technical, maybe they just don't know what's possible. What's your advice?
My advice is literally open up your browser, whatever it is, think of a problem that you have in your life and type in, how can I use AI to help me with this problem in my life? So one of them that I'm struggling with right now is my sleep schedule.
Oh,
I'm not
Can't imagine
best,
why.
Yeah. Not the best at my sleep schedule. So I asked AI, hey, how can I improve my sleep schedule? AI gave me some very good advice, some of which, by the way, was like, hey, go talk to a therapist. something that you wouldn't necessarily
Right.
think has to do with your sleep. It was just like, maybe that'll help, maybe it won't. It certainly
Has to
can't
do with your
help.
mental health, which certainly impacts
right?
it. Yeah,
Boom.
yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I think just ask like questions like that, and then you're using AI already. Because that's the beautiful thing about this word AI. We used to think that TF-IDF, which is basically what powered your typical search engine, was
Right.
AI. Now, like, we don't really consider that AI anymore. So it's very much evolving as technology does, like what's cutting edge and how these words are used. Even vector search, like Quadrant considers itself a composable vector search engine. And the words there are definitely still being defined, but I think just being able to use this technology to improve your life, you're using AI. And also, even if you don't think you're using AI, if you have a phone, computer, if you're like living in society,
Right.
you're using AI, right?
Yeah, if you're listening to music, you're probably using some
If
sort of
you've used the traffic light.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, if you breathe there today.
Yes.
No, it is the thing. I like what you said there, and I just want to reiterate it.
Yeah.
Whatever is the most annoying thing in your life or the thing you wish you could snap your fingers and fix, you can simply ask AI how it would solve that
Yes.
problem.
And like, just get some ideas started. Don't worry about the best model, whatever. Like,
Don't
find
worry
something
about it.
free, get
Yeah.
started, and that's the best way to dive in.
I love it. Terry, this has been awesome. I
Yeah, it's
hope we
been
can
great
have
talking,
a
Savannah.
fantastic crab dinner sometime
please.
and that the seas are good to you.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
again,
yeah.
shout out to your fabulous family.
Thank you so much.
Really
I appreciate
appreciate
that.
it.
Yeah.
I hope y'all are having as much fun as we are here on Vultures Creators X. My name is Savannah Peterson. Thanks for coming to learn with us.